Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two, the podcast that is always hosted. I don't know why I had a hard time getting that word out. Hosted by me, Chris. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 162. I hope everyone is having a great day and week and year and life. Let's see, what do I got to talk about? What do I got? Sunday brunch. Yes. I should talk about Sunday brunch because it's the newest podcast that I do. It's co-hosted by myself and the always wonderful Megan Johnson from tipsywriter.com. And it's such a fun show. And Megan and I can speak for I can only speak for myself, but I'll speak for Megan. We have a fun time doing it, and you should check that out. And it's with our partners, secretstageproductions.com. So it's there. It's all there. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, YouTube. It's all there. So everyone go have a listen. But I want to get into my guest because my guess is Josh Silverman, and he is the co-founder of a website called Constantly Calibrating. And I've met them at past RTXs, and I really enjoy Josh. I think he's a phenomenal guy, and I was very happy to chat with him. But this weekend, he's doing an Extra Life stream. Extra Life is a way to raise money for children's hospitals. And if you would like to contribute, constantlycalibrating.com/extra life is where you can go and donate. I know I will be donating, and you should too. But you know what? Let's get into this episode, all right? So sit back, relax, and Chris, cue the music, please.
Hello.
Hey, Josh, what's going on, dude?
Not too much. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. I was just watching a movie trailer.
Yeah.
Called what was it? Get Out. It's written and directed by Jordan Peele of Key and Peele.
Okay.
And it's a physiological thriller.
Interesting.
The trailer is crazy.
So what kind of movie is it?
So, okay, and again, this is just from the trailer. It's about a couple, a white girl and a black guy, go to visit the white girl's parents, and he's just kind of worried, did you tell them that I was black? And they're like, oh yeah, they're going to be fine with it. So they go and visit the parents, and come to find out that things are not what they seem. I guess there's some sort of they make the black people do like they make them white, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
That's what I got from the trailer. It's not a comedy at all.
Just that's what I was checking because obviously known for comedy most of the time.
Yeah. No, I would say check out the trailer. It looks very interesting.
I'll give it a look.
Yeah, right now, and I will sit here and wait and judge your reaction. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time I've been asked to do that.
Really?
And it wouldn't be the first time I've ignored it also.
Somebody has legitimately asked you that? You don't have to give names.
Yeah, there were another. I don't couldn't to give you names. Back when early days of Constantly Calibrating, I was whoring us out on Reddit and different places like that.
Yeah.
And I was doing I'll appear on your show if you appear on my show kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And this radio show, this like there was radio show style thing, like you did call-in segments and stuff, asked me to come on, and yeah, they uh decided like right as I called in, like, so we forgot to ask you to watch this movie trailer. No, I think it was a show trailer. We forgot to ask you to watch this, so we need you to watch it. So we're gonna judge your reactions, and I was just like, no, like that's not going to be entertaining at all.
Right, because you would spend your time worried about your reaction than actually watching it, right?
It's not even that. Like I can after now a couple of years of doing streaming and let's play kind of content, my brain is wired that I can actually like turn that part of my brain on and still focus on something, at least at 70%. But the problem with it is that it wasn't like it was a video podcast or anything like that. It was a pure 100% audio show, and it's like, so I mean, people aren't going to be watching, like, you can't splice in the trailer
right
along with what I'm watching. We can't do something like that. So it's like you're literally just going to be listening to going like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, how is that enjoyable to anyone?
See, I feel like if somebody were to ask me to watch this trailer, I would do exactly that, where I would overact vocally.
Yeah, no, I think that's what was expected of me to do, but it just, especially like this was like 3 years ago now, especially at that time, that wasn't my style, and I hadn't learned quite the ability, the Let's Play streaming kind of personality of mine hadn't really come forth yet.
Right. No, I hear you. I see the dumb person in me comes out, or the funny person comes out of me, and if I can make a butt out of myself, I will do it.
Oh yeah, no, at every opportunity. I'm 100% with you. If I can make an idiot out of myself, which really isn't that hard, then I will. I jump at every opportunity, which for better or worse somehow has actually been helping me in my career. It scares the crap out of
me. See, it's fun. It kind of goes back to I knew I found my niche. And this is all, in all honesty, the very first RTX I attended.
Okay.
Because that was when I first met all, you guys and the other, all the people that I still talk to today. Mm-hmm. But since a lot of my interviews are done over Skype, it's nice to get, side by side in person. But after my interview with Joel Heyman, where we talked about nothing.
A pretty standard Joel Heyman interview. Love the guy. We've had some great interviews with him, but nothing happens or gets really discussed in any of that.
It's so great. I had people coming up to me, people in the media room that were complimenting me, and I was just, so this is what I should do. Mm-hmm. Because it's my philosophy is, if you want a sit-down interview style, especially with these people, Rooster Teeth people, who there's always footage of them doing sit-down interviews. Like, go check out, one of yours or one of theirs, for mine, let's just have fun. Who cares?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I pride myself on with interviews, because when I first started doing them, I never wanted to be an interviewer. I was never a particularly social person. Like, when I started the whole podcasting thing, it was really just my then best friend and I wanted to discuss actually all of Mass Effect 3 because the game had just come out. We finished playing it, and it was one of those things where we're like, we got very cocky and thought about, usually when I was saying, like, usually when I throw parties, we have a lot of our friends, sit and like listen to us go on our nerdy rants. I thought, you want to just like grab a $15 microphone and just turn it on and record it? Mm-hmm. And that was what we did. That was the first 2 episodes of Constant Calibrating, was just us talking about Mass Effect 3. We did one episode, and then the controversy happened at the ending, and we did a second episode that addressed that. And that's all it was that thing. I never really wanted to interview people, and then as a joke, I applied to RTX for 2012, their second one. Mm. For whatever reason, they I got an email back like 24 hours after I applied saying, yeah, you here's 3 passes, and if you'd like, you can tomorrow morning interview Matt Hullum.
Oh,
who,
nice.
And it was like, Oh, the last interview I did was in like seventh grade for a project. So, I mean, you're not gonna say no, obviously, and
Right.
it was actually not a bad experience. But like I decided to start doing some interviews and stuff after that, and they just were really rigid,
Hmm.
like really, really tough experiences because I felt like I had to hit like specific points. I'm talking to a major cosplayer. Okay, let me hit all of these big points,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
just they never felt right. And then I went to RTX. I think it was the one I met you at, which was 2014.
Yeah.
And because I took a didn't go 2013, I went 2014, and I did like a few interviews, and I got complimented on one with Miles Luna, which was super
Mm.
laid back and very laid back because I had talked to him a little bit before in other situations, and I was complimented on like some of the questions I asked him, and I like was thinking back in the interview, I'm like, I didn't ask him what, and I ended up going watching it. I'm like, that was a really good thing because I wasn't interviewing him, I was talking to him like he was my friend,
Right.
and that's kind of what I did. And then I started morphing my style into, okay, I'm going to ask questions and I want to be unique. I want to ask questions. I want one question in every interview that's never been asked before. But instead of focusing so hard on the questions, I'm just going to write a few notes of things I want to touch on. And otherwise, let's just see where this party goes.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting learning experience, that whole thing. So similar to what you were talking about.
And I'm the same way when I first started the show. I have a problem going back and listening to it because I didn't know what I was doing. And I was talking to, just people, actors, directors, all those good types of people. And it was very much who are you and what does your daddy do? And I was just and it's fine because it got to where I am today. So this year I've kind of been going back and asking those people to come back on the show, just because now I know what I'm doing somewhat.
Pretty much, and that's like I've been trying to get a couple of our classic constantly calibrating interviewees to come back. People I felt like I may have scared away, or something like that. Which in one case definitely have.
Yeah,
But a few of those things come on. Like let's have some fun. Let's just like let's just chat and figure things out.
yeah, yeah. And so I gotta ask, where did you come up with the name?
The name,
Yes,
nobody actually asks me this
nice,
ever. I've never
nice.
been, no, I'm like not kidding. Like I've not been asked this, and the truth is, it's been so long since I've thought about it that it might take me a second to actually. So okay, we did the podcast. We did the first couple of episodes. Think I think we made it to about episode 6. I want to say before I applied for RTX,
Hmm.
and at that point. I think it was no, sorry. We made it to episode 3 before we had a name.
Okay.
And all it was I was uploading to SoundCloud, I want to say. And then it was we started trying to figure out like a name for the show. And it was literally like, well, we talked about Mass Effect for 2.5 episodes. So
Mass holes.
it's so like saying no, that's not even a joke. That was seriously there was like there was like something like there was mass turbators,
Oh,
um,
nice.
mass effectors. Okay, what's the level of cursing and lewdness I can say on the
You can
show?
say whatever you want, dude.
There was Garrus's cum dumpster. If I remember right, was one that we very drunkenly came up with, and we're just like, no, no. I think all these may actually be discussed in one of the early episodes. But
Yeah.
then Constant Calibrating came around because for anyone who's played Mass Effect, Garrus, who is our favorite, was my Steven and my co-founder's favorite character, is huge on calibrations. It's a thing that wasn't intended to be a joke in Mass Effect 2 that became a joke in Mass Effect 3.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it was just that combined with the fact that I could never get our microphone working. It just,
Okay.
and I think it was just like I just pitched constant calibrating as a joke, and it was nobody came up with a better idea. And then we just kept kind of going with that until about episode 6 or 7 when we applied for RTX. And then when we got the passes for that, they we thought to ourselves, shit, we need business cards.
Yeah.
So I guess we like, okay, so what do we want to do with the name? And it just like my wife just drew up a logo and drew up entire design business cards for us after that and wrote constant calibrating on there, sent them the print as like a nice sweet gift for us, like just the surprises. And we're like, well, I guess we're constant calibrating because it says it on the business cards, kind of thing like that. And that's just how it like kind of stuck. And then it's just been an interesting thing because it makes me laugh because if you look at all of our search results for the website, like I think for a long time there's 70% of our search results were people trying to figure out how to calibrate different items.
Yeah.
That's our SEO stuff was kind of ridiculous for a long time. But yeah.
Nice. And is there one moment through all your interviews that you look back on and say, "Wow, I like you love that moment. You can't believe you did that." Maybe even while it was going on, you blacked out.
So I've been thinking about this a lot recently. So Phoenix Comic Con this year, I got to interview Chris Gore, who people may know from Attack of the Show, and his Kickstarter just finished to fund Film Threat. He had run that, 25, 30 years ago, and then not much had really happened with it for a while. And he did one Kickstarter, I believe, earlier this year that didn't succeed, and then he did another one just now that did succeed. And I got a chance to interview him because he always comes to Phoenix Comic Con, and he just happened to be sitting at his table. I went over and I said, "Hey, Chris, I'd love to interview," and he agreed to it. We ended up scheduling for like the next day or something like that. Did the interview, and then during it, like within 1 minute, it just went off the rails. Still discussing stuff, like still staying on topic, but like I had lost all focus on really what needed to be addressed anymore. And I just decided to tell him a story about how I almost met him. I decided to tell him a story about how constant calibrating came to be, which was at an event that I almost met him at, where he on Twitter called me a pussy for not having the confidence to talk to him. And I told him how I had taken that advice to heart and worked on my ability to talk to people, which is part of how constant calibrating came to be. And then I said how at a recent event, I also have been trying to work on my confidence, and Phoenix Comic Con was like my point to try to really work on my ability to approach people. I never used to approach people. And I just told him this whole spiel, this whole thing. And then he told me, he's like, well, success. And he goes on this like little mini rant about how I'm charming and well-spoken, and he thinks I'm great. And then after it ends, he also then elaborates on that to tell me he thinks I have this like bright future in doing interviews and podcasting and stuff like that. He thinks I'm extremely well-spoken, and he was honored to talk to me. And I'm like, and I do think I blacked out for a moment trying to process, like, is this just a guy like buttering me up? And then I thought to myself, what does he have to butter me up? He's fucking Chris Gore. I'm some guy I'm just some guy who has a, like, at best moderately successful channel,
Yeah.
So it's like, what does he have to butter me up for? So it was like, yeah, that's my highlight thing, because it gave me this like renewed vigor that even when I went to a really dark period over this summer with professionally and personally, I actually looked back on that moment and it actually helped pull me through.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah. No, I go back and I like to be. I'm a team player when it comes to all us media guys, especially at RTX. So I'll go back. I'll go back and watch people's interviews. Or the best thing for me is just standing there and watching people get interviewed. This year, when you were interviewing Ray, I just had fun just watching you two talk.
Oh yeah, I remember you were in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You always I feel like are around for, at least when we are doing ones like in the media room stuff. You're around for like at least 60% of our interviews, always in the wings watching. I always notice that.
And it's so hard because I want everybody to win. It's so hard for me not to offer my assistance. Because I remember you were saying you got mic flags that didn't fit your microphones. And
yep.
I was just like, I had to hold myself back because I wanted to, you need microphones. I got microphones. You want to borrow my microphones? Let's do this. And you put the flag on it, and I was just, I don't know if I should do that. I don't know if I'm stepping my boundaries. If you need a microphone, I'll lend you one.
Well, the notion, the notion and the offer is, even after the fact, is absolutely appreciated. And I'm the same way where I notice people having difficulty in the media room, whether it's at an event like RTX or even a bigger event, and I just want to jump to people's aid. Like
Yeah.
it's just my instinctive thing, and I'm in a bit of an awkward person, so I just like have to like pull myself back. Like, how well do I know this person? How appropriate is this to do?
Right.
And RGX actually worked out really well for us because we ended up, right before the event, bought like a $35 mic that ended up, I accidentally bought an instrument mic,
No.
but it actually ended up working really well for the event and sound quality. It was almost on par with our podcast mic, at least as far like it wouldn't work as well like in my office, but on the floor it was comparable pretty much. And I ended up going and buying a second one after the event, and that's now our floor mics. And I bought a couple of filters or whatever to put around it, and like now we have that they work with our mic flags, so it ended up actually being a good experience.
There we go.
Kind of working through that at the event,
Nice. Yeah.
at least after a fashion.
And the other biggie for me is video and photos, because I always want to take photos of people doing interviews and then give them to you guys so that you can say, "Hey, here's some photos." But then I just have to stop myself sometimes.
Hey man, as far as that goes, if you ever want to do that, I am so in favor of that. My biggest issue with events, because we're doing the three-man team thing, and I only have one like good camera,
Yeah.
is if we're not double booked, which I tend to double book a lot for events, even with a three-man team, is that I don't get enough behind the scenes stuff for social media purposes or just anything like that. I never get enough behind the scenes stuff, and it always irks me. I need to get like up to 4 people. And then just in general, I never take enough photos at events. The reason why we haven't put like up an RTX album in forever, but I always put up a Phoenix Comic-Con album, is the Phoenix Comic-Con, I can usually never nail down an interview except for before this year.
Yeah.
So I'm around taking pictures continuously because what the hell else am I going to use this media pass they give me for? RTX is the opposite, where like I have usually like a half a dozen to a dozen interviews scheduled before we even get there, and end up doing like 20 to 30 interviews. And since we only have one camera, there's never time to take pictures.
Yeah.
So it's like I any source of additional pictures I can use, even if it's just behind the scenes stuff, I always love.
All right, so I'll follow you guys this coming RTX, because I would love to get into the world of video, but the problem is that I am very particular with my video. So for me, it's not enough to have a master. Like, I need a master. I need singles. I want different angles, and it's the film part of my brain that goes off.
Well, you're a director. I mean, that's that mindset. I want all that stuff, but I also can't afford all that stuff.
Right.
So I take what I can get,
Yeah, and my whole thinking is if I can't do it properly, I'll just stick to audio, because that's what I can control.
And that works. So I mean, your brand is the Cast Think for Two podcast, and a podcast is known primarily as an audio thing.
Right.
So a problem constantly calibrating we've always had, though I think we have finally fixed since we came back from hiatus last month, is we always had a lot of ideas, so we would end up doing a lot of things kind of well, and maybe a few things great, and we dig out too many things to the point that we didn't have our niches. We just had this huge like crater. Yeah. Essentially. So what you're doing with primarily just doing, the podcast, the audio podcast, is great because you have your niche thing, but you can work on the quality. You build the quality of this brand. And then when the time comes, if you feel you're able to, then you bring in the cameras. Then you, if you have the finances and the time and a crew, even, you can then expand from there.
Right.
It's best to have your nice small foundation. It's something I'm learning 4.5 years in.
Well, I appreciate that. Hopefully I do transition to video one day. It's not a huge priority of mine, but definitely maybe one day. We'll see.
I mean, then you get to see people could see the koozies on screen.
Exactly, that, because it's all about the koozies. I had a friend. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe it was my parents. I don't know. Somebody asked me, why do I get koozies made up? And I said, because koozies are awesome. There's no reason. They're funny to me.
Well, my way of looking at it is like, just simply put, I was bad with learning people's names. 2014, the first RTX
Mm-hmm.
I went to with Brian and Justin. I was really bad at names, and I honestly forgot a lot of people's brands. I forgot a
Right.
lot of people's like personal names and stuff because I was not good at networking at that time. But I knew you because you were the koozie guy,
Yeah.
and my wife used your koozie, still does to this day. It's on her primary water bottle. For reference, can't get her to use anything constantly calibrating, but that damn koozie is always on her water bottle. Or at least it was. I think she got kind of destroyed, but
Uh-oh.
well, just like just time and use kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it was one of the things. So like, it was the point that when Justin and I, not this past RTX, but the previous one, Justin, Brian, and I were discussing like, okay, who do you want to meet? Who do you want to remember? And Justin and I simultaneously said, oh yeah, the koozie guy, Casting for Two podcast. Let's go. We need to make sure we talk to him this year if he's there, and just chat and stuff like that. And learn him what the hell his name was my response.
Look,
But it's a good advertising thing because it's not a business card, it's not a T-shirt. It's actually so random almost.
yes, and that's what I pride myself on. Jack remembered me at this past RTX because during our interview, I said, "Hey, your can looks a little naked," and I pulled out a koozie. And I put it, and he put it on. So I get called the koozie guy at RTX, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's a good one. Again, the worst thing you can be in media, the worst thing you can be in entertainment is forgotten.
Right.
Getting like a weird nickname or something like that, or being known for some random ass thing, that's great. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's awesome.
Well, if your wife needs more koozies, I have some, okay?
It sounds good. I will actually. She probably does. So I'll probably have to talk. I'll have to see what water bottle she's now using nowadays.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah. So what else is going on with the channel? Anything new, coming up that you want to talk about?
sure. I mean, like, okay, just the overview thing is we went on hiatus. I had a kind of public, nervous breakdown of sorts right after RTX this year
Mm-hmm.
on Twitter, and just realized I was not happy professionally. I was not happy personally with a lot of different things, and I just decided to. My personal stuff was not something that could be worked on. So what do? We fix the professional stuff to at least get something better. So I just cut the cord pretty much on constant calibrating. Took us on hiatus almost without any, I think pretty much without any notice.
Mm-hmm.
We took time off until we went until we lucked out in getting media passes for PAX West. And we went there, and that was kind of our resurgence. And the new things essentially is we are focusing more. So we are doing a weekly live podcast on Monday nights. Which we actually might be changing the days of. We're running some issues with our timing, but we have that. We launched a weekly news series called The Catch-All for gaming news. It's 5 minutes, 5 stories, sometimes go a little over, sometimes go a little under. And it's, at least as of right now, it's just I write a script throughout the week. And then I just read it off and then just add B-roll. It's a really simple affair. I need more people to give me feedback on it because I'm still not really sure if what I'm doing is working.
Mm-hmm.
But we're only 2 episodes into it. And then like that's one of our big things. And then we cut all of our written content off the site. It was way too time consuming for me
Right.
to try to manage written content for like 6 different writers. Like I never wrote myself. I stopped writing pretty much back in February because I just lost all willpower. I had some great writers on my team. I still have some great writers on my team, but we didn't have really a firm style guide. So I found myself like rewriting sections of their entire articles and sending it back to them to then put into their own worlds. I'm like, I'm literally writing for other people more than I'm writing for myself. And it was just, again, like a lot of frustrations. And so with the site right now, we are recording a lot of content. We're trying to find people to play games with primarily, whether local. I'm trying to get a lot more local content made. We just filmed our first ever Let's Watches. One person plays a game, 2 people sit behind them, all on webcam, all in the same room. We did a couple of those things. The first episode of which released it's Tuesday, so released tonight. And just trying to get again a lot more content, and then we're building up towards November 5th, which is Extra Life.
Oh yeah.
The big charity event for those who don't know. money gets donated to your local children's hospital. It's kind of I discussed with the forgetting his name right now, but I believe Doc is what he goes by. The creator of Extra Life, I discussed with him at RTX that it's kind of like the modern rendition, at least how a lot of people do it. It's the modern rendition of the Jerry Lewis Telethon.
Yeah.
Especially how Rooster Teeth does their show. And this year we're going to be doing our first Extra Life 25-hour stream. And right now, like I'm just working on getting us guests, working on equipment. I'm building myself a new PC. Like that was what I was doing while I was waiting for our dinner to cook before coming on the podcast. Is I was building a PC and trying to talk to some contacts to see about things. And like right now, I'm just doing trying to get us like sponsorships and trying to get us giveaways and all that kind of stuff, and just trying to line up guests and things of that nature because I want to have a really good stream. And my goal is low. I want to raise $500 for the Phoenix Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
Like that's my goal. And it's a big thing for me because I have a kid who has health issues, like thankfully not severe at this point, but he has health issues. So raising money for kids who are in far worse situation to help with their medical care is kind of extremely important to me.
Right on. I tried doing Extra Life last year, and my goal was $100, and I was not able to hit it. But
yeah, my personal is 100, and then and then I started a constant calibrating, with a group with a $500 goal. Like so, that's how I set it up to bring multiple people into things and have them all try to help raise money. I'm still working on building the actual team, obviously, but yeah, it's a difficult thing. My wife works for the Southwest Autism Research and Resource Center, and every year in October we do the autism walk here in Tempe. And like the goal, every SARC employee has to have like a set goal of like I think it's like $300. And I think I've only ever seen one employee hit their personal goal of at least like the clinician, her level of things. I've only ever seen one person hit that level because it just is really hard to convince people to donate for anything.
Yeah.
Especially when they could be donating to a bigger name,
Right.
They want their donation to be on a bigger page. Like in the case of Extra Life, they'd rather donate to Rooster Teeth because then they might be somewhat tangentially part of the Rooster Teeth extended family,
Right.
And I get that fully.
Yeah, and they get stuff for it, and
then there's the added benefits of that, which is why I'm working to get us like some sponsorship giveaways, because to essentially sell people on donating to charity.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea. I hope it works out for you. And if you need me to do anything, let me know. I'm always here.
Oh no, I will probably reach out to you. It's just you're on my short list of people that I need to reach out to figure out how we can work together in some way, shape, or form on this. It's just a case of with PAX, I wanted to have a firm plan in place by the middle of September, and then I went to PAX and then got home on a Tuesday and flew to New York for a vacation with my wife and kid on Friday.
Right.
And then I was gone for like 10 days and just everything. I had no internet access, so I couldn't plan for this Extra Life stuff. So we just got behind by like 20 days pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's just right now just trying to firm, things up and then confirm what my actual capabilities are. But like my setup is going to be to try to set up in our office for the first half of the day and my living room the second half of the day and just have local cosplayers and people like that just coming in and out. And then we're also going to have our South Carolina teams and our UK teams host some stuff as well.
Nice.
And that it should be. I feel honestly, at worst, it'll be really fun. I'm just hoping it's really fun, and we can raise at least a few $100 for charity.
Yeah.
So, if anyone who listens to this is interested, more details will continue to be discussed. ConstantCalibrating.com and our Facebook. Constant Calibrating there as well. I'm sure I'll plug everything at the end.
Well, do you want to plug everything now? You can do it.
Sure, why not? Yeah, so for anyone listening to this, you can find all of our Constant Calibrating stuff, ConstantCalibrating.com. It's just like kind of the hub where we post, everything gets posted there at some point or another. If you want to just see our YouTube, and please feel free to subscribe there. And also, please, I like comments and feedback. Love it with all my heart. I don't care if it's negative at all. Even if it's not constructive, just, whatever. I like talking to people. YouTube.com/ConCalPod. What else is there? There's twitch.tv/constant
Mhm.
calibrating. Again, please go follow us there. Chris here has watched some of the streams for,
Yeah.
uh, assorted reasons, mostly
Yeah.
blackmailing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, but no, we put in some streams. We're going to be building up to 4 days a week with that. And then the social media stuff is ConCalPod on Twitter, Constant Calibrating on Instagram and Facebook. And everything is updated relatively regularly. We're going to have a dedicated social media person on our team, I believe, in 3 weeks. So there'll be more conversational stuff. But really, I just want people to let us know feedback on the changes we have made. And you can find that anywhere. Me personally, I'm at Bear Punch. I'm always interested in chatting with people and just in general chatting with people
There you
about anything. I love this stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's partly why we do it because we love it.
No, I mean, one of the oldest things people ever say is don't do a job you don't love. I mean, I'm
Right.
beyond paraphrasing that. Sadly, in the world we live in, that is not possible
Right.
for a vast majority of people. But at least in the entertainment space, the podcasting space, the YouTube space, the Twitch space, technology has gotten to a point that you really, thankfully, do not need to spend that much money. It's going to be far more the time to do this stuff than it ever will be the cost because you can get by on, which, okay, not everyone can do it, obviously, but on $100 can get you enough for a stream. It can get you more than enough to run a podcast,
Yeah.
at least at a middling quality.
Yeah.
So, you will be able to do stuff. So my thing is, if at least in this entertainment space, if it's something you love, just go do it. And if nobody listens, I've been doing this for 4.5 years with limited proof that anyone actually checks our content. Our numbers never stop going up, but we don't get a lot of feedback on stuff. I've been doing this for 4.5 years with limited feedback, and you know what? I don't care. I would love the feedback, but I still just love what I'm doing. And that's why we did the hiatus, because I stopped loving what I was doing for a while there and had to figure out those finer points, those finer details.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you, dude. Well, Josh, I feel like I should go I should let you go and enjoy a dinner or something.
Yeah, I like my dinners or something.
Yeah.
Dinner or something is a good thing at night.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially the something.
Oh God, dude, the something. It's the best.
All right. You have a good one. Okay.
To you as well.
All right. Bye bye.